Hey guys, welcome back to the Tegiwa YouTube channel. Today we're joined by fellow YouTuber and Tegiwa sponsor Olly Ross. So we've just finished filming Olly's video. Now we're going to be doing a feature with Olly and his Civic EP3.
If you want to know what parts are in this box, you're going to have to go and watch the video that's on my channel.
Got ya.
Right, I'll put this behind and then we'll get on with this. How's it going?
All right, to you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's exciting to be here because this is the first time anyone else has ever done a walk round or any sort of video with my car. It's always been stuff on my channel. So yeah, I'm intrigued to know what you think of it as we go around it, basically.
So why an EP3? Like, talk me through the journey of the car.
So I've had the car at this point nearly 6.5 years, and it was basically the first rung on my list of dream cars to own. And at the time it was either this, a Golf GTI or a Golf R32. I think because I knew how expensive Golfs were to fix, I was like, oh, the Honda's probably the move because the parts are going to be cheaper and there's going to be more cheaper parts out there for it. And I think that was basically where it started. And then, yeah, so I bought it as basically a standard car. It had an in-gen long arm intake on it, and it had some rear camber arms, which I didn't even realise it had until I actually ended up doing more suspension stuff. It sort of progressed quite a lot from there, so to speak.
So how long have you owned it?
So I bought this in September 2016. So 4 years ago, I started making YouTube videos on the car. So the first video I did was suspension install, which it was snowing and it was on a driveway. And that's sort of where it all started, really. And then it's grown a little bit from there, really.
Yeah. Okay, so well, let's start with the suspension then, and work our way around the car. What suspension are you running?
So I've got yellow speed coilovers, the Pro Sport Dynamics.
Dynamic Pro Sport.
Dynamic Pro Sport.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you find them?
Yeah, I really like them actually. I've never really had any other experience with coilovers, but for a first set, these were great because this is my daily. Like, I didn't want something that was like really crashy and bumpy, and I didn't want to like cheap out and get something that wasn't going to last. So
sort of good on track if you do track, but you know, they're compliant enough for the road as well.
Yeah, exactly. So and then up front I've got Super Pro front like compliance bushes in the front lower control arms. And then I originally put a Progress front anti-roll bar on this, but then when I did the manifold, which I'm sure we'll get to later, I then had to change that to a JDM one. So also on the rear, I've got a Progress rear anti-roll bar. Absolutely love this thing. It looks so cool as well. Like, I love the Progress, like, I don't really know what it is, like brace. I don't know if it actually makes a difference, but it just looks cool. And thicker anti-roll bar. And then I've got DME rear lower control arms in red, which you can't actually buy anymore. I don't know why no one offers lower control arms in red, because they look so good on a grey car. Yeah, nice. Basically everything I needed to be able to do a fast road setup at Motion Motorsport. That was basically what it was. So cool.
And then moving outside of the suspension, RPF1s. We like RPF1s there at Tegiwa.
I absolutely love them. They're in my like 5 wheels I want to own at some point in my life. This was like the most realistic way to get onto that list. Yeah. And it's just a timeless design that looks great on so many cars. And again, same with the EP3, to be honest.
Cool. So that's the wheels taken care of. What specs are they actually?
So these are 17 by 8 ET45, which isn't ideal actually, to be honest. I'd prefer it if they were 35 of ET, because I've got a 5mm spacer in the front to clear the front brakes, and I've then got a 3mm spacer in the rear because the inside of the wheel over bumps would hit the rear trailing arm. So I think an ET35 would basically solve all those problems and without spacers basically. So
speaking of brakes, you've not got standard brakes here, have you?
No, so I've got the DC5 Brembos, basically the 4 pots. They are, in my opinion, pretty similar to the standard EP3 brakes, apart from the fact that you can pull the pads out the back and change pads, which is great, and you get less brake fade, but from a pedal feel point of view, they don't feel that different unless you're obviously running an aggressive pad.
What pad are you running?
I don't know actually, because I've never changed them, and I basically bought it as a whole kit second hand. So whatever they were, I don't know. And I've also got braided brake lines all round as well. That was all part of the same thing, so that was good.
And then let's talk a bit about sort of the exterior mods. So you've got this is not standard, this is not standard, that is not standard.
Yeah, there's a few exterior bits. So I've got a Fiberworks Airwalker style front lip, which it's just a front lip actually, so it mounts. You take the Type R kit off of the bottom of the bumper and put this in its place basically. And then we've got a carbon Mugen Rep grille that is one of my favourite bits on the car actually, and I do also have a carbon Mugen grille sat in the box at home, but I think I do prefer the carbon. It has seen better days. There's a lot of stone chips on it now because I did buy this new, so that will be getting sorted at some point, because now that this car is sort of performance-wise getting to be done, I'm going to start focusing more on the cosmetics, so hence why I can get my finger in this gap. Terrible things like that will get sorted eventually. That's the idea. And then actually got a brand new set of headlights, because a lot of people may have seen, if you have an EP3, you may have seen my video where I took apart my original headlights, sprayed the whole inside of them and everything. I've swapped back to these OEM headlights because basically I've got a V2, no one knows this yet actually, I've got a V2 headlight coming, which is going to be super rad, and I guess you'll have to check my channel out for when that happens, because at the moment I don't know the timeline of it, but I'm really excited to get that done. We've then got Carbon My Ride, carbon door pillars. Love this. I think it like flows with my idea of like, so the theme is like black, red, grey, carbon. So this sort of flows that from the front to the rear. And then we've got Mugen wing, or Mugen Rep wing, with a tired looking carbon blade, but I love the carbon blade. I like the two-tone because I know that Sabon do the full carbon one, but I do like the two-tone, so I need to get this re-cleared, and this needs some love, some body shop. Got some fake Mugen aerial that's terrible but kind of cool. More Carbon My Ride carbon on the plinth for the boot, and then replaced badges from you. Then I've got a Fiberworks FX rear lip, which I think is the perfect OEM plus vibe for this car. Like, it looks just normal, and I just love the 2 extra fins that it's added.
Yeah, it's a bit more aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I've like very, very badly tinted my rear lights, so I need to get those done properly as well.
So what exhaust have we got going on here?
So we've got a full spoon sports system, like manifold, B-pipe and back box N1. So it is very loud. Yeah. Actually too loud now.
Let's have a look at the engine.
Cool, yeah.
Move on to the inside. So we've got more carbon fibres.
Yeah, there's a couple bits in here. Yeah, so we've got Carbon My Ride carbon slam panel, which I think is probably my favourite piece that they make, because it again flows the carbon into the engine bay. I absolutely love this piece. Got a Spoon Sports radiator cap. Just the colours worked perfectly with the theme I was going for, so it was like ideal, and it's spoon.
Yeah.
We've then got the Skunk2 Ultra inlet, which, due to your guys' video, I went with this thing because, yeah, it was the best one for horsepower per pound spent.
Yeah. It looks good in black as well.
A fuel rail with a carbon piece on that. Then it's the Mugen rocker cover, which this is probably top 3 favourite parts on the car. Like, for a Mugen part, not that expensive.
Yeah, they're not too bad, are they?
Yeah, because if you're already looking at spending the 250 or 260 that just the normal OEM one is, like an extra 50 quid just to have Mugen on it, I think is worth it for me. I mean, I know
it makes a massive difference having a fresh rocker cover in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I've got black Skunk2 beauty washers on that as well, which I think offsets perfectly and flows with the Skunk2 inlet as well. And then on this side we've got one of your lovely carbon intakes, which I don't think there's a better sounding intake than it. I mean,
Just bob.
Yeah. Well, I noticed it more when it was unmapped. The crossover is so aggressive. It's like a win-win for me because it's like it sounds amazing, it is good for performance, and it looks sick.
Yeah, ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, and then a couple of your hoses as well in black because I didn't want to go crazy with the red.
Yeah.
And I actually got the airbox second hand, so it already came with the red. So I didn't want to go red. And then we've got Carbon My Ride carbon fuse box cover, and then a carbon fibre battery cover as well with an MJC red battery tie down, and then some red beauty washers around to sort of flow it all together a bit. That's basically the engine bay looks wise anyway.
What power are you making?
So it's currently running 220, which the only reason why, because obviously you'd be like, why is it running so little with that inlet manifold? It's the spoon exhaust is actually really restrictive. So it's like, I think it's
not 3 inches, is it?
It's nowhere near. It's like 2.25 or 2.375, like it's tiny.
Yeah.
So like that's really limiting the power.
What ECU are you running?
So I've got a Honda Vert ECU in this, mapped by Dyno Days, just because it was way more cost effective than going with a K Pro. Because I was originally going to go K Pro V4, which is great, but I just at the time I was like, I can't justify spending twice as much to get the same thing apart from Bluetooth. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'll let it slide. So yeah.
So gearbox.
Yeah. So I've got the engine mounts and gearbox mounts, the inserts and things, all polybushed, and then I've got a Quaife LSD in the gearbox.
Yeah.
But I haven't changed any final drive stuff. But yeah, so the LSD like mixed with the Motion Motorsport fast road setup is just it's so good. Like it's one of my favorite. The handling of this thing is one of my favorite things about the car. Like it's so predictable and just dives in exactly where you want it to go, and I absolutely love that.
Cool. Shall we have a look inside the car? Doesn't look like an EP3 that left the factory, Ollie.
No, there's quite a few bits in here that's changed. I don't know where to start really. I'll start with what I'm looking at. So I've got a Premier Edition steering wheel because this car isn't a Premier Edition. I upgraded to this just because my other one was falling apart and I wanted the Momo. I've then got a carbon dipped clocks around. I've got a carbon dipped center console, and I do underneath the real carbon have carbon dipped door pieces, but I now have the Carbon My Ride carbon door pillars. I've got like a carbon Mugen rear mirror, like rear view mirror surround as well, a Acuity gear knob, and then just this Alcantara gear gator. I've also got a short shifter in there as well. We've got the JDM EP3 floor mats, which are incredible. They're like twice the thickness of the UK ones as well, so they're just amazing. So I love those. And then I guess like the main bit everyone's probably seen is the EK9/DC2 Recaros, which I absolutely love these things. They're so comfy, and it's just a cool like nod to the previous generation, and sort of all it really takes to actually bolt these in is just Premier Edition Recaro seat rails, and then we had to drill 2 holes to just line up 2 of the holes on the seat rail, and that was it, and they bolted straight in.
So what's next for your EP3, Ollie?
Well, what's next is what's in that box that you'll have to go and watch my video that I've just hand selected myself from the Tegiwa warehouse, which is pretty cool. So thanks for letting me do that. There's some cool stuff coming. So it's cool that you've got this now, because it's going to change in the next, I mean nothing super crazy, but there's a few bits that are going to change, which will change the look, and like I've already alluded to, headlights, things like that. So I don't want to give away too much, because otherwise why would you not come and look at my channel?
What is your channel? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so if you are interested, my channel name is just my name, it's just Olly Ross. And then I'm also on Instagram at Solly Ross, so it's like Olly Ross just with an S at the beginning. Same on Twitter if you care about Twitter, it's up to you. And same on TikTok. That's sort of the best places to find me really, but yeah, YouTube is sort of the main one, YouTube or Instagram, yeah.
Mega. So yeah, thank you for taking the time out your day to come and see us, get your new parts.
Yeah, thank you for
see that video go live. Make sure you just subscribe to Ollie, subscribe to us, and yeah, see you in the next one.